All right, whenever you're, and I think we're recording. We are live. All right. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Thriving Through the Holidays. Good evening. It's so good to see everyone jumping on here and commenting already. Welcome to tonight's webinar. We're going to be talking about some fun strategies for navigating the holiday season in a healthy way. And you know, many folks out there, all of you in this room, we've got over 70 already in here, are excited about the holidays. You're excited about festivities. You might be excited about ugly Christmas sweaters from Aunt Helen, right? That still smell like her closet. It's amazing. The holiday season has so many things to look forward to. But you know what? For some folks, there can be a little bit of apprehension as well about the holidays, particularly around how to move through them while still achieving your health goals. So tonight, we're going to learn a few tools, a few resources, a few ways that you can thrive through the holidays. And I'm so delighted that you took the time to be here tonight. My name is Nathan Claycomb. I'm a certified Optavia coach, and I'm grateful for your presence. And I look forward to talking with you tonight about how to move from surviving to thriving through this holiday season. And as we get started, I want to share just a little bit about my story. My wife and I, a little over a year ago, there on the left, you can see I was 38 years old and she was 30-something. She's on the call, so we're going to keep that a secret tonight. But I had developed what most people know as the dad bod. But more disturbing to me, I developed the dad energy. And that means that I had a ton of energy to give my workplace, which I loved. But when I came home, well, I was giving my family the leftovers. And I had also begun to eat the leftovers. We're going to talk about those tonight too. Well, last year in the summer, we drew a line in the sand and we decided to get plugged into a structured program with healthy habits that we could develop in our lives. We immersed ourselves in a healthy community. And by fall, we had gone from our highest weight to our healthiest weight. And we gained the energy that we had really longed for and honestly that our kids deserved. And so tonight I'm thinking some of you out there that I've seen on this call already know what this is like. You've moved from a place of maybe dishealth, unsick maybe, to a place of better health. So if you've been part of our program, you've lost some weight with our program, why don't you just throw in the chat box, if you're comfy with that, some inspiration tonight to get the night started off. If you've lost some weight, go ahead and throw in a number in there as to what maybe you've lost with our program. And I just want to celebrate you tonight in there. Oh, whoa, 149 pounds right off the bat. Congratulations, Spence. 4860. Oh, these are going really, really fast. Mary, 102. Oh, my word. Guys, ladies, this is incredible. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Well done. Well done. It is so amazing that our program focuses on predictable lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. And tonight, somebody invited you on this call, or you chose to be on this call because you want to develop healthy habits in your life too, or because someone cared about you, they've developed healthier habits and they know that it's possible for you too. So we're going to dig into some ways that you can thrive through the holidays with healthier habits, frankly, and a healthier mindset. Now, as I said, a year ago, we got our health back on track, but it was right before the holidays. So we had to navigate candy at Halloween, stuffing and pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving, or you might call it filling. And that's next week. Fried food at work parties. We had eggnog to navigate and cookies and buffalo chicken dip at New Year's Eve, which I make myself. And there was tons of cheese. So we had to navigate that. Some of you might be thinking about the next 4 to 8 weeks and thinking the same thing. You have some things to navigate. You might have some apprehensions. You may already be at a healthy place and you just want to maintain your health or optimize your health. Others of you might want to go through the holidays gaining health. So that's why we're here tonight. Denise and I tuned into this exact webinar just over a year ago, and we were able to change the way we thought about everything. We had a plan, and tonight, I hope that you leave with a plan as well. Now, the ideas that I'll be sharing tonight will come to you not from my brain, that would be incredible, but from Dr. A. Dr. Wayne Anderson is a board-certified critical care physician. He's the co-founder of our program, and he's a New York Times bestselling author. 2 of his resources are on your screen right now, and they are the Stop, Challenge, Choose ebook, and then Dr. A's Habits of Health. Not only is that where some of these ideas and concepts come from, but also those are the foundation of how we help our clients. Now, I have a special option for you here tonight. The ebook is actually a free resource for you. So just connect with the person who introduced you to the call tonight, and they can get you hooked up with the ebook Stop, Challenge, Choose. We're even going to talk about that concept in just a little bit. Now, I want to let you know that you already have a decision to make. Before you do any shopping, although maybe some of you have done that, before you choose what to cook, your biggest decision is, do I wait until after the holidays? Now, I'm guessing that if you're on this call, you've already kind of maybe made the decision you want to get started before the holiday season, but it's your choice. You can wait until January 2019 to make a resolution, and that's an option. I made that resolution, and then I made it again, and then I made it again. How many of you put a 1 in the chat box if you're brave and you have made the resolution to get healthier year after year after year? Yeah. Who's ready to break the resolution cycle and just live healthier? Huh? What if we made choices this holiday season that created weight loss and health gain rather than weight gain and health loss? That's what I'm in for. So here's how we go into the holiday season, right? We all have an event to go to. Thanksgiving's a great example next week. And for many of us, our mindset has been an event will equal an outcome. For example, if I go to Aunt Helen's house, which by the way, Aunt Helen, I love you, but I'm ready to take off this sweater. We're going to take this off here before it gets too distracting. So if I go to Aunt Helen's house for Thanksgiving dinner, I'm going to take off her sweater as I come in the door, and she's going to promptly fill my plate to the edges with all the trimmings. And then she's going to watch me take every bite, and then she's going to offer me a second helping of her famous mashed potatoes. And then I'm going to feel lousy afterward, and I'm going to take 2 antacids, and then I'm going to be dragging my wagon all night long and into the morning the next day. The event was Aunt Helen's, and my outcome is everything I just described. Now, some of you might be thinking, shame on Aunt Helen, but what if there were a different way? What if we went to the event and then we chose to respond to the event to determine our outcome? So let's switch the scenario a little bit. We go to Aunt Helen's, we take off our Christmas sweater, which I'm not going to put back on, and we're at the event, but we choose to not overeat. We choose to eat healthy, and the outcome is vastly different. We're no longer dragging our wagon, we are thriving. So tonight we're going to discuss responses to events and desired outcomes, how to achieve your desired outcome. So I want to ask you this question. What is your response going to be to go through the holidays? There are a few options, and I'm going to present a few of them to you here in a moment. So I want you to think carefully about each one and then maybe choose which one that you'd like to go with. There's no right or wrong answer. What do you want your ideal outcome to be? Here's option number 1. Would you like to enjoy the benefits of eating healthy throughout the holiday season? Just eating healthy, this is option number 1 that you could choose. Eating small, frequent meals, maybe drinking lots of water, staying active. Many of you in the room who are clients or have made a commitment to better health, you're already doing this. You're enjoying fueling your body 6 times a day. I like to eat, so 6 times a day is awesome. Drinking lots of water and staying active. Maybe the result then is feeling great, having more energy, doing the activities you love, and spending time with the people who are most important to you. This is option 1. I'll give you option 2. Option 2 says, I'm going to compromise a little bit. I'm going to make healthy choices throughout the holiday season, but a meal or 2 or a food group or 2, I'm going to indulge a bit more. Yeah, that's a fair option as well. And then option number 3 is to make no change in what you're doing at all. Now, this could be really good. Maybe you're already eating healthy, so no change equals more of that same outcome. Or perhaps you're not making the best food choices right now. Well, most likely that could result in weight gain. So you have a few options, and option number 1, again, just as a review, was to eat healthy throughout the holiday season. Get this plan in place. Number 2 is to pretty much eat healthy except for a meal or food group, and then number 3 is to do nothing different. Go ahead and throw in the chat box a 1, 2, or 3, which option might be your plan at this point in the evening, and don't worry, we're not going to come back in here later, print this out, and put it on Facebook for the world to see, I promise. At least I don't think Cliff or Shirley will. So personally, I'll give you my option this year. I'm going to go with option 2. I am going to eat healthy throughout the holiday season, but I will have a slice of my mom's pumpkin pie. But I know it's going to be 1 slice, and I see a lot of 1s, 2s. I see some 3s, a 1.5. We have some creative answers tonight. Very good, very good. And What's most important here, my friends, is that there's not a right choice, but you do want to choose the outcome that you want. And then you're going to take some action steps toward the outcome that you want instead of away from the outcome. All right? Before you arrive at these holiday events is when you make this decision. It doesn't really help to show up at Aunt Helen's and make the decision after she's handing you the second plate of mashed potatoes. We're going to design a plan in advance, and tonight we're going to cover just how you can do that. Now, some of you may be thinking, Nathan, you don't understand. That's a lot of meals. Like, you just talked about eating 6 times a day. We have a ton of meals between now and then. There are so many events, so many parties, so many celebrations. But are all of those celebrations equally challenging? Would you agree that maybe breakfast tomorrow is not going to be a challenging moment for you? I think probably not. Now, unless you're headed to a Lancaster County smorgasbord, and then by all means, please continue to listen to this whole webinar and apply it to breakfast tomorrow morning as well. I'm not going to name any of those guilty, and you can just blink if you've gone to one of the smorgasbords. Let's take a look at the upcoming calendar here. Here's something to consider. There are 46 days left in the year. I will not tell you how many there are to Christmas in case you're a Christmas shopper. You don't want to know. But as of today, there's 46 days left in the calendar year, and we already talked that one of the healthy choices would be to eat small, balanced meals 6 times a day, which means you have 276 meal choices. 276 meal choices. Now, if we really think about it, they're not all that challenging, but there are some biggies. Thanksgiving stands out 1 week from today, maybe a business holiday party, maybe Christmas Eve or Hanukkah or Christmas. New Year's Eve, I already talked about in our house, is definitely a time to really be mindful. And then New Year's Day football, for those of you football fans. So that's 5, 7-ish. At best, it's 7 meals out of 276. Do you know that's only 2.5% of all the meals between now and January 1? It's just over 2%. I don't know about you, but that gives me a breath of fresh air. Like, I can sigh a sigh of relief that I don't have to think about all those with the same equal weight here. We just need to focus in on a few biggies. Shirley says that's doable. Absolutely. I think we can count to 7 and make those count. The choice is going to be yours. You get to choose how to go through these next 276 meals. But you can choose to let the holidays be an excuse to eat however you want. Or you can use the holidays as a catalyst toward health. You can thrive through the season with increased momentum toward your goals. It's only 46 days, and it might only be 7 meals, so I know you can do this. You have so many opportunities to make choices that are in line with your personal goals. And then, at the end of the journey, you can see victory. Put a 10 in the chat box if you want to see victory at the end of this holiday season. I want to see a 10 for victory, right? Perfect 10. We're going to develop a strategy in just a moment to help you get the outcome that you desire. Look at all these 10s coming in here. Catalyst to health. That's right, Rich. We're going to go for a catalyst. Boom. All right. So here's how we're going to create this victory. We're going to start with the desired outcome. We already talked about this just a moment ago. A desired outcome says, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to achieve. So an example of that, I want to create a healthy eating plan so that I can maintain my weight and feel better than I usually do during the holidays. So what does that look like? You know, I love that it says create a healthy eating plan. A goal without a plan is just a wish. I love Christmas wishes, but I want to see a new reality coming up here in January. Now, the important piece to this is you want to be able to measure your outcome. You want to be able to take some action steps that are measurable. For instance, maybe you're going to drink 64 ounces of water every day. You know, that's measurable. I'm going to sleep for 7.5 hours every night. I'm going to eat 6 small balanced meals every day. If you plan with specific measurables, it gives you something to track rather than just saying, oh, I'm going to try to be healthier this season than the past season. So we're going to think about some measurables. So we're going to start with the outcome, and then we're going to define our current reality. So we know where we want to go. Now, where are we now? Let's look at your reality. Take a realistic snapshot. An example might be, I've gained a little weight, and I don't feel so great about that. I always have a hard time getting through the holidays without gaining 7 to 10 pounds. My friends, I know you saw my before and after. I want to tell you that I have wrestled with this every year except for 2017, and I'm confident about 2018 based on 2017. I always gained weight through the holidays. So where are you now? And if this is where you are, pay attention, because we're going to go over action steps next. The action steps are here because once you're crystal clear on your desired outcome and your starting point, your current reality, then you can set up secondary action steps to move you toward your goal from your current reality to your desired outcome. So we talked about measurable action steps. You're going to commit and stick to your plan, right? This is going to be a secondary choice. Drink a minimum of 64 ounces is one that we've already identified. Maybe get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I want to say that these two alone, proper hydration and excellent sleep, will bring a mindfulness to you. It's going to help you make better choices when you're faced with those difficult decisions, and you just end up feeling great throughout your day. Now, I love this one. This is another example of an action step to move from those two examples. So our desired outcome is to have a healthier holiday with a specific measurable eating plan. So carry a healthy snack with you at all times. For those of you who had snow, some of you had snow today, it took me 2 hours to drive 12 miles on my way home from work. And I fuel my body every 2 to 3 hours. So I fortunately had a healthy snack. Having a healthy snack with you at all times allows you to avoid what I call convenience store blues. So this is where you walk down the aisle of that gas station convenience store, not knowing what to buy, but it's convenient. You see all these options. So you grab something salty, you grab something sweet, you grab something slushy, and none of it's healthy. And then after your drive home, you spend the rest of the night feeling sick in your stomach. Okay, how many, don't raise your hands. Again, just blink. I know someone else in here can relate to those blues. So here's what we do to avoid those blues. We think before we eat. We're going to practice mindfulness. Why am I eating? Why am I eating? Before you put anything in your mouth, before you eat, ask yourself, is this a rational eating decision? Or is it an emotional eating decision? I got to tell you, my 2-hour drive home tonight, I was keeping as clear of a brain as I could about myself and not thinking that everyone else was a worse driver than me in the ice and snow. But it was an emotional drive, right? Some of you, like you're out shopping, it's an emotional process. And sometimes you'll have an emotional thought process around eating. So I want to stop and ask yourself, am I making a rational decision or an emotional decision? So to do that, let's determine if it's a rational decision when we eat. Here's a few tips and questions to ask yourself. Number one, is eating this, that salty, sweet slushy, is it in my best interest in the long term? You know, we were talking a lot about Aunt Helen earlier. You know, if I'm eating an apple and 15 almonds and a bottle of water, is that going to be in my best long-term success? Yeah, probably. If it's mashed potatoes and a side of gravy, is that going to be in my best interest for my long-term health? Probably not. So that's the first question. The second one is, if I eat this now, how will I feel an hour from now? How will I feel tomorrow? Will you be dragging your wagon? Or will you be energetic and be a victor? And then finally, how will I feel a year from now if I continue to make decisions that are not aligned with the outcome that I want? Will I be closer to my goals or farther from them? Ask yourselves these questions every time you're going into one of these challenging circumstances around food, and you can have such a better outcome. You'll be transitioning from purely an emotional decision to a rational one too. It engages both sides of your brain in that sense. All right, now how do we do that in a more structured way? I love this. Stop, challenge, choose. We talked about this from Dr. Anderson's ebook. So we'll go over them real quick here. Stop and think before responding. Then challenge why you feel the way you do. And step 3 is to choose your ideal outcome. Let's apply the strategy to my Aunt Helen's mashed potatoes. When you get offered that second portion, stop, take a breath. Think before acting. Challenge, am I really still hungry? Will these potatoes move me toward my goal or away from my goal? Will I feel good about my decision tomorrow or even in an hour? And then choose the action that aligns with your ideal outcome. Stop, challenge, and choose. So these questions that we just asked a moment ago are a structured example of stop, challenge, and choose. Some of you are trying to write this down, I can tell. All of these questions are such a good example of stop, challenge, choose. And again, that ebook is available to you. Just make sure you connect with the person who invited you tonight. As a review, we're going to think before we respond. We're going to challenge the way we feel about what we're about to do. And then we're going to choose the ideal outcome. Now, just an extra added tip about my drive home tonight, you can stop, challenge, choose anywhere through this holiday season. You can absolutely apply it to food. You can also apply it to stressful situations, in traffic, or even when the kids are tearing your house apart and throwing snowballs like mine were tonight. Choose an outcome choose a decision that aligns with the outcome you desire. All right, so now it's time for the moment. I know some of you have been waiting for this moment. Okay, what are these tips? What are these tricks that he mentioned earlier? Well, every one of us has these events like Aunt Helen's, but it might also be a social gathering, might be a business gathering. So here's some practical tips that you can apply even next week. The first tip I have for you tonight is perhaps it's okay to say no. And I don't just mean it's okay to say no to that second serving of potatoes. I mean, it's okay to say no to an event. So if you have one coming up that you know that you particularly struggle with, maybe it is a party at a smorgasbord. Unless there's an obligatory reason, like it's a mandatory event for your work, it's okay to say no. Be selective. There's a lot on the calendar right now. We all have a lot on our plate. You don't have to go to every event. Isn't this freeing? Some of you, this is freeing for me. It's so easy to get overextended and not get enough rest. And then we end up making poor choices. So this is a great 3 things that you can do to really benefit both your mental and physical health. And take care of yourself. Getting that extra rest, building some margin into your calendar is going to benefit you both mentally and physically. Now, what if you choose to go to a baking party? So we talked about kind of the business party and maybe Aunt Helen's. But what if you go to a baking party? I don't know about you, when I grew up, we were always baking cookies. These next tips are priceless. Grab the pen. If you didn't have one yet, this is the time. Make non-edible gifts. Baking parties typically are to bring cookies or cakes to other people. Perhaps those other folks are focused on their health too, and maybe would prefer a different type of gift. In our family, we made yarn wreaths with coat hangers. Some of you have to have done this when you were children. So there's a crafty idea, and Pinterest is full of them. Another thing you can do, if you're definitely going to be baking, then maybe brush your teeth beforehand. That extra minty toothpaste, or maybe gargle with some mouthwash with that bite in the back of your throat. When you have that flavor in your mouth, those cookies do not taste nearly as good. Take my word for it. Another thing I love to do is some peppermint herbal tea, just that minty flavor in there. It's delightful and doesn't make you want to go for the cookies. Another tip, you can eat before you bake. If you're eating 6 times a day, fueling your body well, you're going to be satisfied with that apple and pistachios maybe. Eat before you bake. Wash your hands frequently. When you have clean fingers, boy, it's a little icky to put them in that cookie dough. And frankly, I just think of the raw eggs and I can't do it, friends. I just can't. And then my favorite tip right here. Oh yeah, right there it is. Vicks Vapor Rub. You didn't know there'd be props tonight, did you? Get a whiff of that. Everybody just take a deep whiff. Think about it. Menthol. One little dab of this underneath the nose, and those cookies are a lot less tempting. A whole slathering on your chest, Aunt Helen won't even invite you over for dinner. Some other strategies for you here. I'll let you catch your breath. This is a good time to look at the chat box. Yes, toothpaste thing, the morning before my first fueling. Stop, challenge, choose in so many areas of the life. Very good. Excellent. I like the Vicks and the toothpaste at the same time. That's a unique combo. I don't think we could create a fueling like that, but we could try. Now, before you go to an event, and we talked about having a plan before you go in, it's okay to be really mindful as you're arriving at an event, even before with a response. Have a written action plan. Know how you're going to respond to the baking party, or maybe to the holiday party, or maybe it's the football party. Have a response to Aunt Helen. Thank you so much, but I'm going to pass right now on that portion. Perhaps when you go into this, you'll know what to do when the challenge comes, and you'll be able to navigate it in a way that's respectful and also enjoyable for you. I also like to think about there's alcohol parties too. Some of you might not be drinkers, some of you do like alcohol. Choose your response to that before you go into the party so you don't feel pressured. We'll talk about a cool tip for that later on as well. Don't go hungry. Eat before you go. We already talked about that. Here's the written plan. Now, this is something we're going to offer you here in just a moment. There is power when you put pen to paper helps you really synthesize your plan. And I'll let you take a quick look at this. Don't worry, you don't have to copy this all down because you can find this document at mast.com/event plan. Mast.com/event plan. You're going to put in all the fillables there, the date and time of your event, and of course the outcome that you want to achieve, and then some of your action steps so that you know going into the event how you're going to choose to respond. Makes the stop, challenge, choose all the more easier. Hey, there's about 90 people on the call. I just want to take a moment and say hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. If you're just tuning in, we are digging into the tips and tricks to thrive through the holidays. How about a few more? So we've got that written plan. How about a few more thoughts? When you get there, when you're going to this party, instead of food, why not focus on the friends and family who are present? Think about all the stories that will be told around the meal or even after the meal. You know, I think for many years, I got really focused on some specific foods and some specific desserts. And I'm sure that I missed out personally on some really cool moments and probably didn't even watch some moments happen because I was so focused on that plate. So think about ways that you can enjoy every moment and cherish each interaction. Live in the moment without the distraction. And honestly, when you have that clear, crystal clear outcome that you're going after, the secondary choices become a little easier. You have to think about them a little less, and you can enjoy each moment. And then, my friends, those of you who I saw hundreds of pounds lost in here, some people have not experienced you looking like you do. This is an opportunity to strut your stuff. I mean, I'm just picturing Spence. I'm just picturing Spence strutting his stuff at holiday season. Use the holiday parties as an opportunity to inspire others. If you're choosing to go into this season, if you chose option 1 or maybe even option 2, and you said, you know what, I'm going to go into this season and create better health, then use your story to inspire others. Now, what if you were asked to bring something to this holiday party? Yeah. If it's a potluck, well, you have a couple options here as well. You can bring something that everybody can enjoy that's a healthy option. That's one way to go. But what if you've been voluntold that you're going to be bringing a snack or a dessert that you know is not part of your desired outcome? Well, I have a solution for that too. I do not like coconut cream pie. And I know I just made some enemies in this room, and I'm okay with that. I do not like coconut cream pie. And so if we are asked to bring a dessert to an event, I will bring a coconut cream pie because I will not eat it. So I'm going to encourage you, bring something that doesn't tempt you. Or Google for some ideas that can tempt you because they're healthy. So we've got this, look at that turkey there. It's a veggie turkey, and I guess that makes it a vegan turkey. And then we have some mashed cauliflower, and look at that beautiful spread. These are all ideas from Google, and I will tell you, if you just type in holiday snacks, you will get a cornucopia of options, guaranteed. Some of you get that joke on the way home, it's okay. All right, so that's some ideas for what to take to the holiday party to make you even more successful. So now you're there, you're in the moment. How can you navigate the party with the things you didn't bring? Well, first idea is to just stay away from the food. Move yourself to the opposite side of the spread. Most of our family gatherings have a buffet. So we position ourselves now on the opposite side of the room and interact with folks from there. You can also hold your water bottle. Never leave home without water. I'm being very purposeful about hydrating my body right now. And I will keep this in my dominant hand. And this tip comes because typically you would pick up food with your dominant hand. Of course, you can pick it up with the other hand too, but this makes you think about it just a little bit longer and keeps you hydrated along the way. Now, if you're going to eat at the event, avoid portion distortion. In other words, find the dessert plate. You know, plates are getting larger and larger in America, and we're just filling them. So in this case, find the smaller plate and help keep your portions proportioned. Eat slower. Savor every flavor. You know, Aunt Helen took time to cook that turkey. She wants you to taste the rosemary, and she wants you to taste the orange. All right. So take time to eat and savor. As you do this, you'll find that you really don't need to go back for seconds. And that alone will help you to have great portion control and get through some of those events. And then lastly, bring a healthy snack to share. We talked about that, but also some of my gatherings, they last, well, my family are talkers, so they last like 6 hours. Well, I'm ready to eat a second time in that time period, so I'm going to bring a balanced, healthy snack so that I'm not going back for round 2 of that dinner. As I mentioned earlier, I like leftovers. So we're going to talk about leftovers now. How many of you get cleanup duty, right? Well, cleanup duty can look like two things. You can either be cleaning up the leftovers, literally cleaning them up, or you can choose to clean up something else. So if leftovers are a struggle for you, I'm going to encourage you, instead of snacking on them, maybe delegate that to someone else and do a job away from the food, like dishes, or maybe it's tidying up the table. Let someone else take care of the leftovers. And then finally, you can also freeze leftovers pretty quickly and create lean and green meals for those really busy days ahead. And we all know the days are going to get busier and busier toward the end of the year. Whew, how about those tips? I see a lot of things coming in the chat box here. Good ideas, veggie turkeys, and volunteering. Let's see. Yeah, voluntolding is one of the things I used. When assigned a non-healthy food you must bring, also take a healthy one in addition. I love that. Miriam, thank you. That's a great idea. I love that.
Don't ask the hostess whether you can do that. You just do it.
You just do it.
Otherwise it might say, don't bring it.
Thank you. I love these tips. Well, we're going to do a quick recap here for you and be mindful of your time this evening. I hope you're enjoying it. I know I am over here. This is a great time with you all. I'm going to have to go back and read the chat box later. There's such great tips in there too. We're going to focus on our family and friends this holiday. We just talked about that. The relationships we have are more valuable with people than they are with food, right? And some of us have relationships with food or had relationships with food. We're going to focus on our friends and family this holiday season. We're going to plan ahead so we're not going, you've heard, don't go grocery shopping hungry. Well, don't go to a big food event hungry either if you want to thrive this year. Take control of those portions. Look for those smaller plates, maybe those dessert plates, and avoid the family style dining. Now, this one we didn't touch on yet. Move before munching. Get some healthy motion going. Maybe before you go, take a quick brisk walk outside. You'll enter that event with a clearer mind, and you probably won't want to undo the fitness work that you did earlier in the day. Told you earlier we talk about alcohol just a little bit here. You might want to make a mocktail. So if you are a person who enjoys a beverage, and I'm not saying you can't have one, but if your goal is to maybe maintain a healthy weight this year, maybe you want to make a mocktail. Take some seltzer water, throw in a lime, throw in a stir straw. Looks like you're having a cocktail, and no one will know, but you can enjoy your better health. And then finally, use your community. I mean, my wife and I, we are so blessed to be part of a community of like-minded people who are pursuing optimal health. A lot of them are in the room tonight, and I know that if I need to call my coach or I need to call a community member and just say, hey, what are you doing this holiday season? Here's what I'm doing. They're going to be here for you. So find that friend. We all have a family member, a friend who's pursuing better health in their lives. Stick close to them and enjoy their friendship and their support. Well, as we wrap up tonight, I really want to encourage you that you can create a plan. You can create a plan to stop, challenge, and choose secondary actions that move you toward your goals instead of away from your goals. You can enjoy yourself this holiday season. You can enjoy the festivities of the holiday season. You can enjoy your friends and family throughout the next 8 weeks. You will cherish every precious moment. I want to encourage you that there's a great moment in every day, and sometimes we have to look to find it, but I know you'll do that. Find the win of each day. You don't have to survive this holiday season. I did that for many years. You can thrive. So I want to encourage you tonight. This is a ton of information in a short window of time, and I'm thrilled that you were part of it, but connect with the person who invited you here tonight, because I'm pretty certain that they'll want to help you achieve your goals. And whatever that was in that 1, 2, or 3, it might have even changed by the end of this webinar. I know that you can be a success. And the person who invited you is here for you, as am I. We're so thrilled for you. And we want you to thrive. So finally, before we depart this call tonight, I have a few gifts for you because, hey, it's the season of giving. So here's the first one. As you go into your events, we want you to enter them with a plan. So that event plan sheet we saw earlier, you can still find at mast.coach/event plan. That's mast.coach/event plan. Have that written plan. The second one, now we have some healthy recipes. I was going to say healthy webinars. That was what we had tonight. mast.coach/holiday1. And then if you really, really like recipes like I do, mast.coach/holiday2. That second one happens to come from our co-founder, Dr. A's newsletter. So there's some fun ones in there. And I love cooking. I hope you enjoy cooking some great healthy treats this year. Oh, my friends, our time has just flown tonight, faster than Santa's sleigh. My goodness. But did you have fun tonight? I don't know, throw anything you want in the chat box. I think we've used all the numbers 1 to 20 at this point, but what a fun night it's been with you all. I still have my Vicks Vapor Rub and my tea, so I have a fun night ahead of me. Congratulations, in all seriousness, congratulations to you. Every single one of you, over 90 of you, and probably guests, we probably hit over 100 tonight, have made time for this call. You're making health a priority in your life, and it's such a joy to be with you on that journey. I hope we get to connect again soon. Until then, have a wonderful and safe season as you thrive through the holidays. Good night.